Okay. Well, that was a double whammy question. That was like two questions.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I can find another one here. Uh, okay, I've got one here from uh, Mimi B14, and the question is, Sips, what if you were a cheesecake? Uh,
That's a good, I wake up in the morning and often ask myself the same thing.
yeah, you just like you open your eyes one morning and you're like, oh, what's that smell? It smells delicious, and then you can't move, and then you realize, oh my God, I turned into a cheesecake overnight somehow, and that's it. I don't know. Like, would you want to be turned into a cheesecake after having been a human for a while, or if you were just born a cheesecake, not born, but like
Ooh.
your existence on this world was just a cheesecake, but you were able to think like a human. Um, how would you feel like in either of those situations?
Scared, petrified of being eaten alive.
Yeah. What if you're about to be eaten by like a really attractive woman with a very
Oh,
seductive mouth?
that's when you put it like that. No, I'd still be terrified of being alive, no matter how attractive the woman was who was eating me.
I mean, I don't know if you'd be able to feel pain as a cheesecake, like you could think, but um, you would probably cease to be, but at least it wouldn't be painful. Does that make it any better for you?
Yeah, I could think it might be like a nice way to retire, or in places where they have the death penalty, maybe they could make it the cheesecake penalty, and they turn you into a cheesecake because, well, you had your chance. Now you're a cheesecake.
Yeah. Oh God, that'd be terrible. And one that would never get eaten either. So like the ultimate, it
Yeah.
would be the ultimate feat of justice because you would sit there and you would eventually mold and start to stink really bad, and then just rot.
Oh God, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
Oh, that's
man,
disgusting.
that's a way to go.
Maggots as well. Oh,
Oh God, yeah. How the? I don't get maggots. Like, why are there so many of them, and where do they even come from? Like, do they just like develop?
they just appear, don't they?
Yeah,
It's magic.
yeah. It's really weird. Um, I hate the at the start of True Blood, like the intro sequence for True Blood, when they show that
The
fox
fox.
and he just like it's all sped up and
Yeah.
he's like decomposed and eaten by maggots. God,
Hmm.
they're awful. Maggots are just disgusting.
Yeah. I'm always torn watching that because it's a great song, but I don't like seeing some of the imagery. So do I skip it or do I listen?
I find like every time I watch that show, every time I see the intro, I see different things like in the intro that I hadn't seen before or that I don't recognize because there's so many like scenes flashing by, and a lot of them are like kind of like raunchy
Yeah.
and stuff. But like some of the I don't always remember like some of the scenes of like people like dancing in church or whatever or being baptized and or christened or whatever, and sometimes when I watch the intro, I see that I'm like, oh, I wonder if they put that in, or I'm too lazy to go back and check like older episodes to see if they put them in. But I always like, anytime I'm watching the intro, I think that I'm like, oh, I bet you they just like added some new stuff in. That's awesome. Like they're still working on the intro like after 5 seasons or whatever. Is it 4 seasons now or 5 seasons? I can't even remember. I can't wait for the next
Oh,
season though. It's
I
a
don't
great
know.
show.
Oh yeah. The
S-
ending of the last one was really explosive. I
Oh
suppose when you talk about intros like that, it's a lot like have you been watching Game of Thrones?
no, sadly, Shin, I haven't even seen the first series, and everybody makes fun of me for having not seen it. Um, but I plan to watch it soon.
I'm laughing at you, Sips. I'm laughing at your. Well, I've read the books actually, and the intro it's bigger and bigger. You see, it's a kind of large fantasy epic, and it goes. Characters go to various places, and the intro is like a map of all those places. And as they go to more places, the intro gets bigger and longer. You start to see more places. So yeah,
Oh, is it like Lord of the Rings? Like, are there hobbits and stuff in it?
yeah, yeah. There's hobbits, wizards, ogres.
Oh
Um,
my God.
no, wait, no, 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 wait, no. There
Why
isn't.
are there always hobbits? Okay, good. I was gonna say like every fantasy thing ever has like hobbits in it, or some equivalent like dwarves and stuff.
Short
And it's
people.
like,
Well,
come
there's a
on.
dwarf. There are a few dwarfs actually. I'm not sure how much I can say because I've read the books. And I don't want to drop any spoilers. People that are really into the series.
Okay.
But yeah, there's dwarves, but they're kind of you know dwarves in the same way that there's dwarves now in real life, like Mini Me from Austin Powers. Just short people, vertically challenged
Yeah.
people.
Oh my God. I'm not sure you're allowed to say that, Shin, but we'll let it slide.
I thought that
Um,
that's I I don't know. I've never kind of met someone, so I don't know what I don't know what someone would prefer to be called. So I wouldn't like to offend anybody. So yeah,
you're
just
gonna get the cheesecake treatment for that.
I think I
You're
might
gonna
do. Yeah.
be, you're gonna stand trial. Lionel Hutz is gonna find you guilty after just like arguing just the best case.
Oh no 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 no
Then
no!
you're
Me
screwed,
and
buddy.
Lionel, we go way back. I'm sure he'd let me off the hook.
Oh. Well, you better hope so. Okay, next
I hope so.
question. Shin, I hope you're ready for this one. Actually, it's probably nothing that you need to be ready for. This is from Brad387. And his question is, what's your favorite country, not including Canada, of course? Um, which is, it's an interesting enough question, Shin, because are you super patriotic? You're an English guy. Are you all about England, or do you have like another country that you'd prefer? Like, where would you want to live if you could live anywhere, or are you just happy living where you live?
Oh, that's a good question actually, because are we talking about a country you like to live, a country you like the culture of, a country you believe in some other way, or a country that you just simply like the shape of? I mean, I've always been partial to footwear, so Italy is
Yeah.
the big boot, isn't it? I'm
If you're a
kind of
fan
keen
of
on that.
chilies, chili is kind of shaped like a chili, so you
Yeah,
know, if you might have just like an entirely chili themed house, like with like paintings of chilies, the house shaped like a chili, and you could have like
yeah,
this smell of chilies wafting through your house at all times. That would make me sick personally, but you know, some
I mean,
people
you could
might like
mix it
that.
up with maybe jalapeno peppers.
Yeah, some jalapeno. You could chop up those jalapeno peppers in your jacuzzi bath if you
Yeah, and put them in a tortilla.
and put if you weren't too worried about hygiene. Um, yeah, I don't know why this guy said I can't say Canada is my favorite country. Even though I don't even know if Canada is my favorite country. I mean, I'm from Canada, but I wouldn't necessarily say that it's my favorite country. Um, do you know what? I think my favorite country, and maybe like a lot of people probably think this too, but I think my favorite country is Japan. I just think Japan's nuts.
I
I
was
don't
tempted to say that. Yeah.
I don't know what it is with Japan and Japanese people, but they always seem like they're having a really fun time, like just doing really like weird stuff. Like they always have like toys or like or some shit going on, and they always seem like pretty happy and like productive and efficient and stuff like that. And I think that's nice. I think that I don't know if I'd ever move to Japan or want to live in Japan or anything, but I think as a country obviously not thinking about like the time they were involved like in World War II and all that stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of. Do you actually know the history behind the Japanese part of the war and how they got involved and the reasons? I honestly, I'm not so sure. I mean, I've never really read much of the history on it. We don't get taught that in school, really. Not the Japanese side. I believe it was something to do with oil prices and things. But then they did kind. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know either, but I mean all that aside, like in the last like, since World War II, um I just think that the
Hmm.
whole sort of like Street Fighter 2 and Pokemon and Capcom and Konami and all that kind of
Oh
stuff. Oh
yeah.
man, I mean Japan and Nintendo,
Without Japan,
holy jeez, and
we'd be
Sony.
lost.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell we'd do without Japan, honestly. Uh,
Yeah, it's conceivable. Without Japan, we wouldn't have video games.
it's quite possible, yeah, and we would have never gotten to see
Yeah.
lots of octopuses and squids trying to get it on with ladies in comics either, arguably. Because I don't think any other country
Ye-
would have even had the genius to think that up in the first place. So, um, yeah,
No, absolutely not.
I'm
That's
gonna go with
progress right
Japan.
there.
That is progress. You're absolutely right. What about you? Are you gonna just agree with me
Yeah,
on Japan, or do you have some other country that you have in mind?
I feel I feel cheap for piping in and saying I agree with Japan, but honestly, I find Russia a more interesting place in regard to some of the older culture and the music and such.
Okay. The
That's it. Basically, I like Russia.
oh
So
sweet.
yeah.
Okay, good. You don't even need a reason. You're just like, whatever. It's
No.
just Russia. That's it. Yeah,
Yes, Russia. I like Russia.
that's fine, Shin. I mean, do you like the stereotypical aspects of Russia that like, those big
Yeah,
fur hats and like people with chubby faces?
hammer and sickle,
Yeah, and they're doing that funny dance where
cold.
they bend their knees fully and they like kick their legs out. What
Yeah,
do you call that?
Russian sailor dance.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Russia's got a lot going for it in terms of like stereotypes. I'm sure like they have an interesting culture and stuff as well. I just don't know anything about them.
Vodka. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of interesting stuff behind Russia. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's my favorite country, I suppose.
Okay, well, fair enough. All right. Let's do another one. Man, we're getting through these. This is great.